So here, you might not be a virgin. And if you are, that's okay. Day 4 of giving the middle finger to the algorithm. I have to say, you're going to have to watch Virgin Island on Channel 4. It's a bit saucy. But Elaine and I have essentially chewed up both series. Elaine and I have watched both series now of Virgin Island. You can go watch it. Go to Channel 4's website or wherever you would watch Channel 4. But the fundamental basis of Virgin Island is, I think there's about a dozen individuals ranging from their early 20s up into their late 30s who have had dating challenges. They've never had sex before, hence they're virgins. They find intimacy really challenging, if not impossible. But unfortunately, some of the people that go onto the program also have some physical challenges that actually stop them from being able to have sex. And they go to this island with the wholehearted intention of wanting to learn how to lose their virginity, but knowing that there's some blocker, there's something that's stopping them from being able to do that. So they go to learn the skills of dating, the skills of intimacy, the skills of sex, the skill of learning to love themselves or knowing how to love themselves so then they can invite someone else into their life that can do that very same thing. And these people, they stay on this island for 2 weeks. And for 2 weeks, they're on the island going through intensive daily coaching and exercises, working with this wonderfully curated team of experts. So yeah, on the surface, these people have come to face their dating problems, their sex challenges, their intimacy problems, some of their own physical attributes that have maybe stopped them or blocked them from being close with other people. However, underneath the surface, essentially every single person, as the episodes move towards the end of the series, every single person is just confronting their past. The reason why Elaine and I have enjoyed watching it so much is because it was like watching a condensed version of the work that we do with people and have done over the years, of taking them from not knowing themselves and essentially not realizing that something that happened for them in the past, their experiences or maybe a particular event, was stopping them from getting to the level of happiness or success that they really desired. And it was the same for these people on Virgin Island. Every single person realized that there was something from their past, something from their childhood, maybe something from an old relationship, was fundamentally shaping how they were now showing up in the present. And then this same pattern of behavior was causing such problems, yes, in their dating, sex, and life of intimacy, but also in other parts of their lives as well. Everything is interconnected. Coming back to my favorite method, my favorite saying, how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so these people that were carrying this lack of confidence, this disconnect from believing that they could be the person that perhaps went on great dates and attracted that perfect person, that had the conviction to be able to follow through with someone that they were in love with and have a great sex life. All of these things were also rolling out into other parts of their lives. So people weren't having the jobs or the careers that they wanted. They weren't following through on their entrepreneurial desires. That's why I'm so pig-headed. When people come to us and they say, I think I need a new funnel. I think I need, some sexy marketing. I'm like, no. The first thing we need to start with is, who do you believe you are? Because that is going to be the bottleneck. That is going to be the conduit that everything else attempts to travel through. If you don't believe you can be that person, then it doesn't matter how great your website is, what your lead magnets look like, any tactics. We've got to come back to baseline and foundation of, who do you believe you are? How are you playing that out into your life? My days of being in the military were another great place of where I learned that tactics, yes, are needed and required at some point in time, but the most important thing is becoming the person that can action the tactics successfully without sabotaging themselves. Because if the identity that you're still holding on to, still avoiding rejection, still trying to prove something, or maybe protecting itself from some sort of pain or shame, then the strategy or the tactic doesn't matter. That person, that identity will always find a way to throttle any sort of progression or change. So hey, you might not be a virgin. And if you are, that's okay. However, my advice to you would be audit your life based on looking at everything holistically, and have that saying live rent free in your mind. How we do one thing is how we do everything. And ask yourself, a fundamental question. Am I living the way that I want to? Or am I experiencing life through a filter, through a mask, through performing a way that I was taught to, the way that I was shown to from maybe previous years? Whatever your unique scenario is, I will tell you it is possible to change. And it is an absolute possibility that you get to decide. It is your choice of whether you stay exactly where you are. There's zero judgment on that, or whether you decide you want things to look a little bit different. Will it be uncomfortable? Yes, absolutely. No one has ever gotten to the place that they long for, that they desire, that depth of happiness, without having to let go of a lot of the things that's created the version of them that's got them to where they are. However, you will not get to a different place by continuing to do things that have gotten you here. If you want change, things have to change. I know that sounds really cheesy and really obvious, but choose to do something today. Choose to do something just a little bit different. Step outside of the norms of how you currently do things. I've never met a person or worked with a person that's ever regretted stepping outside of who they currently are because they long to be in a different position in life. But I can also tell you, every person that has chosen to do a little bit of something different and step outside of that has always had to go through a doorway, a gateway of pain, discomfort. So expect to get some pushback from whatever the current identity is, because it will not want to let go. Anyway, I'm done with this. I'm done talking. I'll see you in the next one.